So my number one tip is love the lean meats. So lean meats, you probably hear that a lot when we're talking about heart healthy. And that's because they're lower in saturated fat, which is what we want to do, excuse me, for heart health. So that's going to be things like your lean ground beef, at least 90% lean or 93.7. We've got ground turkey and ground chicken as well, or even seafood, something like shrimp or salmon, maybe in a dip or something like that. All those would be great lean meat options. Tip number 2 is veggies. So that could be something as easy as a veggie tray and dip, but I think we can do better than that. So one of my favorite things are these mini peppers. So they're perfect for bite size. You can cut them, fill them with dip, and you just have a tray full of little bite-size pepper treats like that. You eliminate the cracker and all that stuff. You just got your veggies. You could also do veggie pizza. That's a favorite at our house. If you've got the grill going, you can throw some vegetables on the grill, and that's a great way to add more veggies to your meal. Cucumbers can be great to do like both, like you cut it and kind of scoop out the middle, and you can put your dip or chicken salad or something in the cucumber like that. That's a great option. And then one thing I like to do with my fruit and vegetables is try to get our team colors. I just think it's super fun. So if you've got red and yellow, what team's that for? But the red peppers and yellow peppers can be a great way to add team spirit. I mean, obviously we've got other colors too, orange and green and things like that. So throw those into your meal if you want to be more team spirit. But the vegetables, of course, are a low calorie option, high fiber, which is important for heart health, low sodium, which is another important thing for heart health. They're just obviously naturally low sodium. We get some potassium from them too. So just a great all around thing. And I know, sometimes you don't want to be the person that brings the vegetables, but I guarantee you that everyone will eat it. Because I think people look forward to having an option for vegetables. All right, then fun with fruits. So again, that could be as easy as a fruit tray and a fruit dip. You could do fruit kebabs. You could do a fruit salsa. And the fruit salsas, if you've ever made those possibilities are endless. You can do mango, you can do peach, just all kinds of options with your fruit salsa. You can also grill fruits, pineapple, peaches. Those are really nice on the grill. So if you've got the grill going, throw your fruit on there too. And then another fun way, so this is not just a plate of sliced apples. This is apple nachos, just without any toppings. So picture, chocolate sauce or maybe peanut butter, coconut, little miniature chocolate chips, and you've got your little apple nachos that people can either customize or just kind of dive into. So that's a fun way to get to apples, to get some more fruit into the party. And apples are in season here in the fall. So that is another fun way to get, seasonal fruits and vegetables into your meals too. So apples are great here in the fall. Pears will be in season kind of in the winter. Citrus fruit comes into season in the winter also. So that can help things be fresh and also easier on the budget most of the time. You can also do team colors with your fruit. So, pineapple, strawberries, again, with our red and yellow. So just a lot of fun to get those colors in there. Tip number 4, sneak in heart smart foods. And when I say sneak, I don't really mean sneaky like not telling people or being dishonest, because I don't really believe in that. I think you should be straightforward with what's in your food, but just finding ways that you can sneak some heart healthy foods into. So some of my favorites would be beans. Beans are super high in fiber, which is, we always want more fiber when we're talking about heart health. We do have no salt added beans. if you're looking to lower the sodium intake. So that is a super great option. But beans can go great in salsas, soups, when it gets colder. I know my husband is looking forward to chili soon, so those go great in your chili. Salsas, dips, hummus. Some people add beans to baked goods, so all kinds of ways you can do beans. You can also mix beans into like ground meat if you're doing kind of a meat wrap or taco or something like that. So we're going to sneak our beans in that way. Another thing to sneak in that's heart healthy, nuts or seeds. So this one might be a little bit more challenging, but maybe a trail mix or in a dip or kind of on top of your fruit, like the apple nachos, some nuts would go great on top of those too. But remember, nuts are high in unsaturated fat, which is good for raising our good cholesterol. They've also got some fiber in them too. So nuts and seeds, they're great choices. Other things we can sneak in, avocado. So avocados go great for dips, guacamole. You can do spreads on wraps and tortillas and stuff like that. So you just want to be sure that we find the perfect avocado. Sometimes they're not always ready when we want them to, but the avocados are a great source of unsaturated fats as well. So just some good opportunities to up those good fats in our game day. Another thing to sneak in would be whole grains. So that can be some really simple swaps. Like if you're doing anything with tortillas, a pinwheel or a wrap of any kind, swapping for a whole grain, that's going to up the fiber. This tortilla here has 4 grams of fiber per tortilla, which is excellent. We've also got Triscuit Crackers. That's a whole grain cracker. And then these are one of my favorites too. These are called bonitos. They're a tortilla chip that are also made from beans. So they're high fiber, high protein, good on the sodium intake. So these are a good way. And so just a simple swap, if you're doing chips and dip, swapping out for a little bit healthier chip, and you've already increased your heart healthy foods. So those are some things you could sneak in. So, and then my last tip, number 5, is say goodbye to sodium. So frozen foods, to find things that are lower sodium. One of my favorites are, again, the chips, and I keep talking about chips, but if they come up on game day, but this is a no salt chip. So it has 0 milligrams of sodium. So if you're on a low sodium diet, these are really perfect for you. Also some marinades and sauces. This is a marinade from Mrs. Dash. So Mrs. Dash, you may be familiar with that brand. It's a salt-free brand, but this is a marinade for meats and things like that. So chicken wings, stuff like that could go in this, and you've got no salt, no sodium in that. Barbecue sauce, I know that can be a popular thing for game day, especially around here. This is probably my top choice of all the barbecue sauces. This is Zarda Original. Sodium 115 milligrams per serving, which is significantly lower than common brands out there. It's also much lower in sugar and carbohydrates also. So that's Zarda Original. And then another just kind of marinade and cooking sauce. This is called Noble Made. It's a citrus herb flavor. It's not quite as low on the sodium as what I might like to see. It's not bad, but it's one great thing about it is it's really low in carbohydrates and there's no added sugars to it. So those are some ways. There's also no salt added broth if you're doing a soup or something like that. So several ways that you can reduce your sodium just by the recipe or your ingredients in your recipes. Bonus tip, make bite-sized foods. I think that can be helpful. Just to control portion sizes if things are small, and then also don't eat right off the goodie table. Fill your plate and then walk away and enjoy your goodies over there. That really helps with portion control also, and reducing some of the grazing and not paying attention and that sort of thing. So those are my top 5 tips for heart healthy game day goodies. Now I'm gonna clear this off and we'll get to our recipes. And if you have questions, you can get them answered. All right. So our first recipe is called Greek 6-layer dip. Okay. So many bowls. All right, so let's spin on a layered dip, and it includes a lot of great color. We get several veggies, some healthy fats in there. So let's go through the steps for that. The first thing we're gonna do, we have a plain yogurt. Actually, the first thing that I did, I'll back up. I had 2 containers of hummus. I used red pepper hummus. You can use whatever flavor you would like. And I've spread that on my platter for our nice base layer. Hummus is made from garbanzo beans. So, and usually sesame seed, the tahini, and then olive oil. So you get some healthy fats. You get a little bit of fiber from the beans. So some good heart healthy things there. So I've spread that. My next step is to use that plain Greek yogurt, and I'm going to put that in my bowl. So Greek yogurt is a great swap out for things like sour cream or mayonnaise, because there's less fat, there's a little more protein, more overall nutrients. So anytime a dip calls for sour cream or mayonnaise, give it a shot with some plain Greek yogurt, or even like half and half, like a little bit of the sour cream and a little bit of the Greek yogurt. I think that's a good way to kind of test it out. Next in this step, we've got some fresh dill. So I used, we have these cool little packages of fresh herbs here at Hy-Vee. So just really handy if you need some fresh herbs, which fresh herbs are fantastic for flavor. They're just so much more flavorful a lot of the times than our dried ones. Dried herbs work great too, but just something about those fresh ones really enhance the flavor. And then we've got a little bit of garlic. And then in with the dill, I also had a little salt mixed in there too. All right, so I'm gonna stir this up. So this is going to be our next layer. All right, I wish you guys could smell this. I smell the garlic and the dill. All right, so got that stirred up. I'm going to spread this on top of my hummus. There we go. Just spread that around. Oops. All right. There we go. So that's our second layer. Get a little bit more out of the bowl here. You can leave some of the hummus showing just to kind of see all the different layers as you're making it. All right, then we get to our toppings. So today I'm using some chopped cucumber. I did peel it a little bit. I didn't peel the whole thing, and that's up to your preference if you want to peel it, but they're just chopped into small little pieces. So I'm gonna just spread that around. It's about a cup's worth, or a whole. I think I usually end up using a whole cucumber just to not have any extra. The cucumber, just lots of flavor, get some potassium, some fiber, a little bit of fiber. So there's our cucumber. Then we're gonna do our tomatoes. These are cherry tomatoes that have been quartered, so cut into smaller pieces. So tomatoes contain lycopene, which is an important antioxidant for heart health. So try to get your tomatoes and anything else red fruits and veggies. So we're gonna top that on there. There we go. Next we have some Greek olives that are sliced. So these came in a jar, and they're already pre-sliced. So you don't even have to do that. You just drain it off a little bit. So olives are a good source of healthy fats also. So that's a good addition to try to get some healthy fats into our game day. Okay, and then, oh, you know what? I forgot something in the dip part of it, in the dill part. There's supposed to be a little lemon juice in there. So that'll be on your recipe, so you don't have to worry about that, but there is supposed to be a little bit of lemon in with the yogurt sauce. And then lastly, we're gonna go with the feta cheese. And we're just gonna sprinkle a little bit on there. Okay. And so feta cheese is one of those that's because it does actually have quite a bit of sodium in it. So, but it's nice you can just get a couple bites and get all the flavor from it. So that is our Greek 6-layer dip. Super easy. You can make it in advance a little bit ahead of game time. So I would eat this with maybe our crackers, our chips, or something like that. So that is our first recipe. So much color, so much freshness. I've made this recipe for years, and everybody always comments about how just fresh it tastes and just lots of flavor with all the veggies and everything. So, all right, so that's number 1. Now we're gonna move on to our second recipe. So give me just 1 second. We'll transition again. You guys doing okay so far? Any questions? There we go. Okay, so our next recipe is called Cowboy Avocado Salsa. So I picked this one because it kind of has a little bit of everything. And a lot of those heart-healthy components that I went through on the top 5 tips. So it just seems like the perfect heart-healthy recipe. And it's very quick and easy. You can also make it in advance. So I've already got my black beans in the bowl. So they've been drained and rinsed. If you prefer pinto beans or another type of bean, that'd be a simple switch, not a big deal. You could also just add 2 types of beans if you wanted to do that also. So then our next ingredient is the Rotel. So I did drain this a little bit. I'm not sure if I put that on the recipe or not, but I did drain it a little bit just because I didn't want so much liquid coming out into the salsa. But again, we've got the tomatoes, so we get a little bit of that lycopene antioxidant and some potassium as well. Then we've got some frozen corn. It's been thawed. You can also use a canned corn. That's no big deal. I'm going to mix that in there. Okay. Then we've got diced red pepper and diced green pepper are in there. So that's going to add some extra fiber, some extra vitamins and minerals. Peppers are a great source of vitamin C, which is, I mean, it's important for immunity. It's also important for vitamin C, but peppers are a great vegetable source of vitamin C. So we can already see the color so far. So we got great visual appeal. We're going to add in some green onion. These have been sliced. And then I've got a little bit of seasoning. It's cumin and chili powder. Get that mixed in there. And then a little bit of red wine vinegar just to kind of give it some zing, kind of tie everything together. It's just 2 tablespoons of that. Okay. I'm I'm gonna stir that up. So if you are making it in advance, the last ingredient is diced avocados. And if you're making it in advance, I would not add the avocados right now. I would wait until right before you're going to serve it. Because you may have experienced this, the avocados they start turning brown once they've been exposed to the air and stuff. So just kind of wait till the end, or wait till right before, let's say. So I've got my avocado. See, they're already turning a little bit. I shouldn't point that out, but just showing you what's showing you real life. And we'll stir that up. So we get the healthy fats from the avocado, the fiber from the beans, high nutrients from all the other veggies. And I think that your guests are really gonna love this one. So stir that up, and that is it. It's super easy, super quick, just a little bit of chopping some veggies. And this one I think would go with the bonitos that I mentioned, or those no salt added tortilla chips as well. So there we go. That's our Cowboy avocado salsa. Both of these recipes that I demonstrated are from Hy-Vee.com. The other 3 that I'm sending are from a couple other sources, so you'll get to see a variety of things. But one of them is called mini phyllo tacos. Another one is broccoli poppers, and the last one is buffalo cauliflower lettuce wraps. Because I know the buffalo is pretty popular for game day, but we're just gonna put it on our cauliflower instead. So, let's see, how are we on time? Okay, well, we about timed it out pretty well. So just to summarize, and again, if you have questions, pop them in the chat box and we'll answer them. We can make swaps to lower sodium. We can choose lean meats and proteins to lower the saturated fat intake. Also, the way you cook those meats, I didn't really talk about that, but more baked, grilled, less of the deep fried and stuff like that. Up your fiber, whether through beans, fruits and veggies, or more whole grains, swapping out some of those tortillas or crackers and things like that. And then just trying to sneak in any of those extra ingredients anytime you can. So hopefully you'll see that these 2 recipes I demonstrated didn't take any of the fun away, and it just added a lot of flavor and color to your game day table. So thanks for tuning in. Did we have any questions come in? Just for the recipes? Okay, yes, so we're gonna send the recipes to your email, and it'll have everything. The nutrition facts are on a lot of them too, so you can see the sodium and things like that, so that'll be helpful, hopefully. Otherwise, I think that is it. So I'm glad I stayed on time this time. I know sometimes I can go over, but thank you all for tuning in. I hope you enjoy these recipes and these tips, and have a great game day next time. So thank you so much.